It's been a right royal few weeks. We'll get to Prince Andrew in a minute, but let's have some fun first. After recently trying to put a positive spin on pretty much being dropped by Netflix, Meghan Markle tried to compare their new relationship with her to one like the Obamas. Get away. Here she is explaining why she doesn't keep the comment section open on her Instagram page on it.
But by design, I also recognize that a lot of those people aren't going to my page to see negativity. And so not just protecting myself or the people that work with me, but also the supporters. So I don't have the comment section on.
Perhaps she should rename as ever, as if. Meghan also managed to help create, in my view, the worst dinner party in history by being the guest of honour at a vegan woman-only banquet called A Seat at the Table, hosted by Emma Grede, a British CEO. All the clichés were there. As ever supplied the wine, and the chef, Camilla Marcus, who had supplied the plant food, said, "My entire culinary mission is all around regenerative food." She concluded, abandoning the likes of meat and dairy is the only way we will have food for generations to come. Give me a break. It's easy to say that when you're loaded, but when you can't afford to make ends meet and are struggling to feed a family like most of us, choices like that just aren't on the table. This week on social media, Meghan Markle boasted about her busy working life to the soundtrack of Dolly Parton's 9 to 5. Seriously, the most work she probably has to do each day is decide what designer gear to wear. She can have round-the-clock help if she wants it, which she may well have. Nothing like the real hard-working 9-to-5ers. The Americans aren't buying any of this.
Only got where she was because she slept with the spare and got knocked up. Let's be honest about it. I mean, that's, I guess that's one way to do it. But, don't sit here and call yourself a female founder when you married the money. And you married the prestige. You didn't build anything for yourself. You committed the greatest sin in your Gloria Steinem feminism rulebook.
So the big news, of course, is Prince Andrew. The royal who apparently can't sweat will no longer be known as the Duke of York after agreeing with the King that continued accusations around the paedophile late Jeffrey Epstein have become a distraction. Now, the way Andrew's framing it is as though it was actually his own decision, but we all know that it probably wasn't. The King had to do something to distance himself from him. And it means that Sarah Ferguson will no longer be known as the Duchess of York, but her kids will retain their titles as princesses, and Andrew will, however, still remain Prince. Well, you see, that is what the King should do with Prince Harry. That way, Meghan Markle will no longer be the Duchess of Sussex, a place she is unlikely to visit, as by all accounts she has refused to set foot in the UK ever again. Not even sure she actually knows where Sussex is.
Have you had a random call lately from a strange number, maybe trying to sell you something or even scam you? If so, your info could be out there. That's because of data brokers, shady companies that scrape the internet for your personal details and sell them to marketers or even scammers. These days, scammers can even use AI to mimic your friends' voices and trick you into sending money. It's not just annoying. Data brokers often target vulnerable people with high-interest loans or sketchy offers. But there is a solution. Incogni, the sponsor of this video. Incogni contacts data brokers on your behalf and requests your info be deleted from their databases. And because your data can keep popping up, Incogni keeps sending removal requests to make sure it stays gone. They've just launched a new unlimited plan with custom removals. If you find your info on a weird website, just send them the link and their privacy team will work to get it taken down. Getting started is easy. Hit the link in the description, create your account and let Incogni handle the rest. It's risk-free for 30 days and you'll get 60% off an annual plan with the code GBNews. Take back control of your data with Incogni.
Well, I'm joined now by royal commentator Jack Stooks. Jack, am I being totally unfair?
Nana, we've seen a lot of this going on for quite some time. And unfortunately for the king, he's got a lot more problems than just Prince Andrew at the moment. I know he's still trying to deal with Prince Harry. We've got Meghan coming out with all of her work that she's doing at the moment, and
Work.
I do think that they are doing something. We have seen them being a lot quieter of late. I know we've seen her a little bit more showing, like you say, her work, but we're not hearing the royal family owe us. The royal family should apologize. The royal family need to do this. The royal family need to do that. We've stopped hearing that. And I think, that's a massive positive from that side. And I think that's come from Prince Harry's meeting that he had with the king when he was here. But, Prince Harry is a hard worker. I mean, if he was here and he was asked to do royal events and the king gave him a document saying you need to do all 50 of these events this month, Harry would find a way to do those events. And so seeing that of Harry and knowing Harry to be that person, it's quite difficult when you see he sort of, it almost feels he's being held back in America. And with what's going on with the king's health, with what's going on with Prince Andrew, it would make so much sense to try and get him back into the fold and get him actually doing some work, because we all did love that person. We loved seeing him do what he did in this country. He was the lovable rogue that we all sort of warmed towards, and it was only when it started to sour when they moved to America.
Do you think perhaps the Americans are being a little bit harsh with that commentator in the middle who said that she's only there because of the people that she's gone out with? Because I mean, she was in Suits, and I don't know whether she got did she? I mean, I've never watched it. I don't think I could bring myself to do it. But do you think the Americans are being a little bit harsh on her?
No, I think that we all have at times been quite harsh on them. I mean, if we look at what exactly have they done wrong, and we sort of say, what exactly have they done? They aren't emailing a paedophile, a known paedophile, after they've saying that they've stopped. They're not doing things like that. They're not having questionable money problems going on with their charities. And, those are the kind of things that I think is why Prince Andrew's decided, I better step back before I'm pushed. And not just that, I think there's worse to come with the Prince Andrew scandal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I mean, it's pretty bad already, but I dread to think what worse. We shall wait and see what happens in time. But if we come back to Meghan and Harry, some people might say that they are working hard to pay their own way, do their own thing, and that literally everything they seem to do is criticised. Do you think that's that people are really unfair to the pair of them, given that they walked away from the royal family and they are trying to pay their own way?
I do think there was a time when people were a lot more harsh on them. I think that harshness has gradually sort of worn off a little bit. But, any publicity for this family at the moment is good publicity. So I think as how Meghan sees it, any publicity is great. She's turned off all of her opinions on all her social media. Now, I don't think it's quite why she's turned them off as to the reason she's given. I think she just doesn't like seeing negativity. And I do feel that with any brand, with me doing this interview, if I go and look on my social media, there'll be some people saying, oh, great article, or some people saying, oh, I can't believe a sellout is telling his story. And, that is life. That is what we're allowed. We're allowed our opinions. And I think opinions are great to have, and hence why we're all on this show.
Well, that's fair enough, as long as she can take them. But she can't, obviously, because she switches off the comments. If people always say to me, oh, you're a sellout, you're this, they do exactly the same to me. But I either respond to some of them if I think I can just have a laugh with them, or I just ignore them because I can't be bothered. These people would probably never say it to my face. And, hey, this is the world we live in. I can take it. I'm a big girl. Some of them I think is quite funny. Some of them I would even agree with them when they're having a go at me. Do you know what I mean? So what do you think is next then? If Prince Andrew is no longer going to be able to use the HRH, it's not legally binding, mind. What do you think is next for him? What can he do? How can he make money? How's he going to survive?
No, they've got their fingers in a lot of pies. That the book entitled, it goes into so much more detail of what's going on with all of their businesses, with all the charities, with all the questionable money and where it's
Is he releasing a book, or is that the one with Virginia? Which entitled? I haven't heard that one.
Entitled by Andrew Lowney. It's not been out long, but there's a lot of information in that book, and some of the stuff will shock you. You know, even though it's been in the press in the past, it's just been redrawn out. There's been a lot more interviews done, and there's a lot more, I think, going on. I think that book hasn't helped Prince Andrew. I don't think it's helped Sarah Ferguson. And, you know, if those charities are starting to be looked into as well, and then the money will become less and less for that family. And that, you know, sadly, it includes his children as well, because they would have got information and advice how to set up their charities. And once somebody starts looking into one charity, it's not long before they're looking into all the charities. And this stuff becomes questionable. You know, the government want to know more, the press want to know more, and people start digging. And that's how these emails are being found. People are digging. They want more information.
Because the question is, once all of this hits the fan and he loses his ability to work as HRH, where I presume that's how he gets some of his finance, by being associated. Once he has to detach from that, he might end up going the same way as Meghan Markle and Prince Harry and start selling things like a book. He might write his own book and start selling his family down the river, frankly, because what else is he going to do?
Yeah, I can't see him writing a book. I don't think he wants anyone knowing any more than what he said at that interview. I think he's realised opening his mouth is maybe a bad move for him. You know, it was a disastrous interview for him. I mean, great for Emily, but it hasn't helped him at all. So I think he's realised he needs to maybe keep a little bit more quiet and sort of hope it'll pass and go away. But it's not going away because the information's out there, and it's just being uncovered now.
Well, Jack Stooks, we shall wait with bated breath for the rest of the story. Is that about like EastEnders, isn't it? Jack Stooks, really good to talk to you. Thank you so much. Yeah, no, we can't do away with the royal family because there's just too much entertainment value as well. But we do love them. I mean, I was around London yesterday. I went to the museum and the History Museum and all the other stuff that's in London. It's just great, and looking at all the royal stuff.